What's going on, YouTube? You're looking good. Been a while, other than streams. Thank you, one and all, for attending these streams and participating. It's been fun seeing you. And also, I'd like to thank all the people that have sprouted out to do their own channels, which is also very cool. Take this moment to plug a few of them. We've got the Dreadful Minutes, Rick's channel. Check that out. He just started up. He's showing some things. He did a little Bindrune spotlight. His last one was a little more in depth, talking about himself. But it's all going to be appealing to folks of the metal persuasion. Also, Let's Talk Metal, Alan Coulson. He started off a channel that's proven to be very informative and very, very cool. His last video was a contest entry, but he talked about his top 10 or top 20, I can't remember now, favorite thrash albums. Very, very good, and we're probably around the same age, so a lot of them appeal to me as well, and I'd love to just hang out in the room and talk to that guy about music. Let's see who else has jumped into the fray. I know I'm missing a few. Oh, Ken's Death Metal Crypt, for sure. Check out, he is not a new channel, but he is relaunching his channel more or less. He's always just kind of focused on US death metal demos. Now he is branching out to do album reviews, show off his collection, do some other things here and there. Basically, he's putting himself more in front of the camera, which is very cool. He's a natural at it. Definite strong personality and passion for the music, and it's very, very good to get another old guy in there talking about years and years of knowledge and showing off some of these super rare pressings. It's very cool. So check out those three guys. I'll be dropping more shout outs as I continue on with these things, because I think it's very important that you check all of them out. If I remember, I will put links to their channel down in the description afterwards. But this is just going to be a video where I'm talking about shit, because I've got a lot of stuff. I haven't really been getting much in. I've just been sitting on stuff that I've had for a while and listening to. Some of the stuff I've listened to a lot. Some of it I haven't listened to as much as it deserved or I've wanted to. Just the way it is. You know, you go in moods. Sometimes you get new stuff and all you want to listen to is Fate's Warning or, Megadeth or, whatever. But in the background, if you can hear it over my incessant yapping, is Fatal, Soul Burning Still, a Fatal retrospective. This fucking thing. This is a sadly overlooked Michigan band from back in the day. Wish I had if I would have done some research. These guys were out in the late 80s, early 90s. I want to say probably early 90s is probably a little more suiting. They were a death metal band from downstate. I'm pretty sure they were from the Detroit area, Lansing area, down south somewhere. But this is really cool. This is a band that I've heard, and apparently I've seen them once. They were one of the opening acts at the first ever Michigan Death Fest, which Ken from Ken's Death Metal Crypt was there. They opened this thing, and I don't remember them at all, which is stupid. I only heard about these guys after the fact. But Fatal are a very good band. Very strong, solid, old-school death metal. This has the Guts for Dinner, the Fatal, the Soul Burns, and a Somber Evocation of Nihilism demos. 4 demos, 17 songs on this, put out by Hammerheart. I think there's a little write-up in here from the band, collage. The band's great, and if you want to hear a little more about the history of Michigan death metal, check out Fatal. Very cool stuff. So I'm just going to ramble through some stuff that I've gotten, talk about, some of which I am listening to quite a bit, others I'm just kind of skimming the surface on, but we're going to start off here. We've got Denner Sherman with Masters of Evil. Basically, Michael Denner, Hank Sherman is my all-time favorite guitar duo. I've stated that many times. And for their work in Merciful Fate. They just had a way of weaving riffs together, and the way they played off each other with solos really made an impression on me. as a listener, and I wish I could say as a guitar player, but I am a pretty lazy guitar player, so that is not the case there. But they're just, you know, their riffs range from demons laughing to just these lovely melodic passages. But over the years, the two have gotten together numerous times, whether it's been a Merciful Fate reunion or this project here, Denner Sherman. I think this is their second full length. I know there's a mini CD. This might be their first full length. And I really wish I could sit here and say this is great, because it's just kind of average. They've got a guy singing who I could probably look up in here, but I'm not going to. That, you know, he is of the falsetto persuasion with a little more aggression, more of a modern style singing mixed with the melodic falsetto at times. You know, ultimately when he's singing, you just kind of wish you could hear King Diamond singing to this stuff. The music's good. It's solid, traditional heavy metal with more of a modern heavy edge to it. This is a good song. I think it's just the singer that held me back on this, but it's still very good. And if you can get it cheap, which I did, I got this super cheap somewhere. It's worth it for a curious listen. Am I going to sit here and say this is going to replace Don't Break the Oath, or, you know, Curse of the Pharaohs, that Curse of the Pharaohs album, or which was that fan club made record, or Melissa? No, but this is good stuff. Check it out. Next up, I got this used somewhere for super cheap, and this is Cerebral Fix with Bastards. This is a UK-based thrash band from back in the day. This came out on Roadrunner in 1991, and it was certain to be doomed because of the rise of death metal. And not just for that, just for the fact that these guys they have an interesting sound, and they don't sound like every other thrash band coming out of England. But like a lot of thrash metal bands in England, they're kind of boring. And, you know, I'm not saying Sabbat or Sabbath is boring, because that's amazing stuff, amazing thrash. But bands like this and Zentrix and Acid Bath, something about their sound is just doesn't stick with me well. But these guys have more of a sinister sound to them, and the guys' vocals are of a higher register, retched variety, which work, but the riffs themselves are just very mid-paced, power chord based, and don't really do much exciting. The dynamics are pretty poor. You know, there's not these big swings between speed and slower for dynamics. It's just all kind of... The first song on here really is pretty good. Probably the best song on the album. Bastards, I believe it is. The title track. But the rest of it just kind of maintains a slow-moving plod, and the vocalist just kind of follows along with that plod. Kind of boring. Next up, a much better step up, is Attacker from the U.S. This is the Second Coming. Where in the hell are these guys from? Were these guys from Ohio? Not sure. They're from the Midwest. They're a Midwestern band. But this came out on Sentinel Steel Records. Don't remember where I got this from. Excellent traditional metal. The singer is a beast. He is a good traditional power metal singer, heavy metal singer. Battle at Helm's Deep is on my want list if someone has a cheap copy of on CD or tape or vinyl. You want to either trade or sell it to me cheap. That'd be cool. But this is really good. It's a couple things put together, I think, isn't it? Nope, maybe not. It's got a really... Look at that shitty cover. Holy crap. Much better. There's the band. There's 11 tracks on here. There's a demo. There's 3 songs from a demo and 8 tracks for the full length. So, excellent heavy / power metal from the U.S. Give these guys a listen. Next up, changing gears, we are going with... I'll do this one first. I don't know if I've talked about this one or not, but this is Out of Respect for the Dead by Grave. Grave are one of those Swedish death metal bands that really blew me away back in the day, to be honest. Into the Grave, You'll Never See, Soulless, those 3 albums remain just bludgeoning, well-written classics. And after that, the band put out Hating Life, which didn't do much for me, and they got back together, and it was pretty good. And this is in the pretty good column. Ever since their first 3 albums, they're so well written and so hooky and so catchy and so crushingly heavy, and you know, all that is still here. It's just, I don't know if the formula just got tired, or if, you know, certain members leaving the band. Was it Jorgen Sandstrom, the singer, for a long time on those early albums? He's not there anymore. Basically, it's the guitar player who was an original member, has been singing since the reformation of this, which is fine. And this is a good album, but I cannot say that it's not overwhelming. It's not overwhelming. The writing is just kind of so-so. I know I've seen online people think some of these albums, since they've gotten back together, are better than others. I've seen a lot of praise for this one, and I'm on the fence. I like it. I don't hate it, but it's just kind of lukewarm to me. Next up, Holder. Oh my god. I don't know. Holder. It's in Dutch, I believe. I believe this lady is Dutch. But she lives in U.S., Portland, Oregon, I believe. This is a compilation of some promo tapes, a 7-inch, and some other studio type tracks, and a cover of Into the Crypts of Rays. This is a one-woman black metal entity, though she sometimes plays drums, she sometimes employs a drummer, sometimes there's some other members here and there, but basically the songwriting and the singing and the sweet woodland poses are all her. And this stuff is good. It's pretty, you know, no frills, second wave emulating atmospheric black metal, but due to the way that a lot of this stuff is recorded, it's very lo-fi, but not detracting away from, I mean, there's some hooks in here, some well done stuff. The varying recording qualities is kind of, I just wish, you know, if this was a full length, it was all one solid, you know, well recorded piece, but it's not. It's a bunch of things compiled together. I wish I could sit here and tell you what was what, but I've been turned on to her music here recently, and of course her Bandcamp is fairly wiped out of things because of very low pressings. And so yeah, I picked this up, one of the few things that was on there, and it thankfully compiled a lot of that stuff into one area. But you know, if you're into underground black metal of the Scandinavian variety, give Holder a chance. Next up, last year my band went down to our first Detroit gig. We were one of 4 bands that opened up for the Nile and Terrorizer tour, and I realized that I have a lot of holes in my Nile collection. And while I was there, I picked up their new one, which is pretty devastating, to be honest. It's Nile at their best, super symphonic, super Egyptian sounding, super technical. The drum work of George Callias, if that's how you pronounce it, his last name, is astounding. The speed on here is amazing. The clarity, it just sounds like an insanely great Nile album. And it was very cool to see them live. I've seen this band probably 5 or 6 times over the years, and honestly, on that small stage in Detroit, they really did a great job, and they sounded pure as hell. And here are 3 more that I picked up. The Gate of Sethu. I can't pronounce that. And Those Who the Gods Detest. This one is by far my favorite of these 3. It is super fast and just absolutely crushing. well written, great album. I think this is the one that had kind of weird vocals, more of a shouting style. One of these two, like I said, I have not listened to these a bunch, but I've listened to them enough to know that it sounds like Nile. But one of them had more of a hardcore shouting vocal style that just didn't seem to fit. I think it was this one. I don't know, but I think I have like 2 more and I'll have all of them, but I had to fill in a few holes. Next up, oh boy, we're going to take it down a notch. Well, no, not quite, not right away, but let's show some tapes. I got some tape decks fixed, and whenever I find tapes cheap that turn up either online or at the local store used, I pick them up because why the hell not? My tape decks sound good, and this is a cheap way to buy music and not completely throw myself into the poorhouse. So we've got Wasp, the Crimson Idol, and I kind of regret missing this album when it came out because this is fucking great. Very theatrical. It's a concept album about a guy's rise to stardom in the rock world. Could this have been the rock star? Is that the name of that movie? Soundtrack? No, this is way better than that crappy movie. But no one sounds like Blackie Lawless. His vocals are heartfelt, soulful, and his songwriting is top notch. If you have not heard The Crimson Idol, definitely check it out. Out of hair bands, I would say that they are the bar. They set the bar high. A lot of other bands just can't seem to get there. Next up, I got this new on eBay for cheap. It was still sealed. This is The Crucified, self-titled. This is a Christian crossover band. Who do they sound like? Isn't that the thing back in the day, the Christian bands? If you like Crumbsuckers, you will love The Crucified type of thing. If you love Metallica, you will love... If you love Slayer, you will love Living Sacrifice. You know, that's kind of how they marketed their bands. Which is sad because some of the bands were good, but some of them, it was obvious they were shooting more for the message than being original. But these guys kind of kick ass. This is a good tape. Again, it is hardcore infused thrash metal. I mean, thrash metal has a definite strand of hardcore in it anyway and punk in it anyway, but I mean, it's a little more accentuated here. There's good speed, good dynamics. The vocalist has a great yelling tone, and the songs on here are great. I've listened to this tape about 5 times, and I've liked it every time. I don't know if I'm going to continue. The next album, the cover looked a little suspect, like I probably wouldn't like it, but never judge a book by its cover. That tape, though, The Crucified, if you're into crossover thrash, this is cool. Good stuff. Oh, here's another Wasp tape. I got this at the local shop for $4. The Last Command. Already have it on LP. So, figured, why not have it on tape too? I used to have it on tape when I was younger. A lot of these I used to have on tape when I was younger, but got rid of them. And, this is great stuff, man. The second album, classic Wasp. Next up, these are a couple that I had not heard before, and I picked them up at the same store here in town. Udo, Animal House. Obviously, Udo is the former original singer from the German band Crypt, and I was quite surprised at how much I enjoyed this tape. Listened to it a couple times. It's not, super high on my list of must listen to, but the only Crypt album I have, Restless and Wild, which is killer, and I've got Balls to the Wall, which is super killer. Is this either of those albums? Maybe not, but it's solid. Udo sounds great, and the songwriting is pretty solid on it. Next up, this is kind of a crapshoot. This may or may not be going into a VCLT package. I don't know. I haven't decided yet. But this is Loudness, Soldier of Fortune. $1. I had to try it. Loudness, heavy metal band from Japan, and you could say that they, I think Eric Bauer said in the stream that they were a hair metal band, and I kind of wanted to protest that, but it kind of are. And you know, the saving grace to this is the guitar playing. The guy, I cannot remember his name, I'm sorry, but he is a world-renowned shredder guitar player. And the solos on here are great. And some of the songs are even good too. I just need to spend a little more time with it before I, you know, throw it in a box and send it off. The next two, got that same place. I got them for cheap. And I gotta say, I've been listening to them probably a lot more than I should be. But Whitesnake slided in, and the self-titled. This was the super popular one that had Tawny Katane sliding around on a Jaguar. But this album is a great album. The first two songs slided in, and the song Slow and Easy. That song Slow and Easy is just hit me between the eyes this past week. I've listened to it probably 15 times. It's just a really well-written, bluesy rocker of a song, and Coverdale sounds great on it. Obviously, this one has Cry in the Rain, Still of the Night, Give Me All Your Love, Is This Love? You know, all those ballad commercials on K-Tel ballads, rock ballads, that would be on it for sure. But this is a good album, believe it or not. I enjoy it, and I'll probably at some point pick both of these up used on record just to have them because I like them. And I've listened to these probably enough that I will start picking up Whitesnake shit here and there when I see it cheap at record shows. Just because, fuck money. Next up, these are two tapes that I used to own when I was younger. And I used to like them when I was younger. But, you know, once you get bitten by the thrash metal bug and then the death metal bug and then the black metal bug, you know, you can't listen to this stuff. This is just poser, right? Now, Breaking the Chains and Under Lock and Key, to be completely honest, I remember liking this album a lot more than I do now. The vocals are kind of weak. Don Dokken sounds a little weak, on the weakest side on this album. And the songs, there's a couple good ones on here. I don't know. It's not jumping off me right now. But I listened to it, I'm like, oh, that's a decent song. Tooth and Nail's much better. This, I think, is the first one, and it's okay. But it's nothing great. This one, I remember in my head thinking that his vocals were weak on this too. But this is actually kind of a kick-ass record. Unchain the Night, In My Dreams, that was a hit one, the hit track off that. Lightning Strikes Again. Will the sun rise when it's over? That was terrible, but this is actually a pretty good tape. I found myself listening to it a bit. It's pretty heavy, actually, the way it's produced. George Lynch, of course, is a shredding icon, and you know, I got this tape for cheap, and the other one tape for cheap, so there's no shame in that game. Next up, let's talk about some vinyl. Some of this I may have shown in streams, I don't know. And some of this, well, let's just get into it. I just got this one yesterday. I got it on eBay for $5. Fields of the Nephilim, Power. It's a 3-song single from, it's off their first, stuff off the first album. It's got Power, Secrets in the Tower. One of my favorite bands. And though nothing on here was new, I just had to have it because I'm collector scumbag, and I've got a lot of their singles on 12-inch, and this one has evaded me, but I picked it up for super cheap. It's in good shape, and it was worth every penny. Check out Fields of Nephilim. If you like spaghetti, western, gothic mixed with goth, that's what the first album, Dawn Razor, is. They got a lot more gothic and darker and depressing as they went on, and then eventually settled on more of a metal goth union, which still sounds like Fields of Nephilim because of the super dark and dismal vocals of Carl McCoy. Very good stuff. This one was very cool to pick up, and I didn't know it existed until I got to know my friend Patrick Wilding, over at Ground Zero Salem. But this is his old band, one of his old bands, Daggers Rule. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 or 9 songs on this demo, on this 7-inch. And the artwork is actually quite cool. I like the color scheme and the artwork. This was a nice surprise, man. I mean, I realized Pat's a talented gentleman, but this band is quite good. It's really good, aggravated hardcore. I want to say it's got a little bit of metal in it, but it's, you know, I think Ben may have described it as being kind of along the lines of Accused, and though I can tell there might be some Accused influence in here, it's just really fucking pissed off hardcore. I don't think there's a lot of metal in it. The rhythms, the guitar stuff, guitar riffs are all like centered around a box, you know. It just, but the way they're presented, they're super catchy, and Pat's vocals are just fucking demented on this. Great job, man. I mean, I've listened to this about 4 times since I've gotten it. Probably listen to it a bunch more before I file it, because, you know, once you file that shit away, it's gone forever. But I got this online for cheap, $4. Daggers Rule. If you have not heard it, check it out, man. Pat crushes on this thing. Next up, I'm a big fan of UK punk, and I've always been a fan of this band. Subhumans, Crisis Point. This is their most recent mini LP on Pirates Press. There's a pretty good handful of songs on here, but it's at 45 RPM, so it goes pretty quick. But since this band has gotten back together, they sound great. They sound like they haven't missed a beat. I know they quit doing the Subhumans for a while to focus on their reggae-inspired band called Citizen Fish. But this comes with a ridiculous... Oops, I've ruined it. Look at there. Now, what do you expect? It's like a stencil. You can go around town and spray paint Subhumans on people's cars and stuff. Except for this one, I ripped the fucking template, so... Also comes with a poster, which are lyrics on the back. So this is, you know, if you've never heard the Subhumans before, this is essentially straight up anarcho. Oh look, more of the fucking template that ripped off. Gotta be careful, Marty, when you put things away. Gotta be careful. This is not gonna be collector scum worthy anymore. If you've never heard of the Subhumans before, it is basically anarcho punk. Very pissed off, traditional sounding UK punk, which has always had a mind for social and political topics, which makes them fine in my book. There's something about the accent and the ferocity and the attack of these songs really drives their point home. I've always been a big Subhumans fan, and Crisis Point is yet another... You know, this ranks right up there with their older shit, to be completely honest. It sounds like their older shit. It sounds like the same band. They're great. Check out Subhumans. These next 2 albums I have not listened to as much as I've wanted to, but they're both good. We'll start with this one. This is Drive with Characters in Time. I got this sheet from a friend of mine that was on his Discog page. Look him up on Discogs. What's his name? Metal Brain. Look up Metal Brain. One word. He's got a whole shit ton of stuff. Good prices. Of course, he knows if he has something rare, he'll charge for it. But I got this for like $6. I've seen a bunch of other YouTubers talk about it. Maybe Jurgen and some other folks. But I want to listen to it twice. It is traditional heavy metal. It's kind of teetering on the brink of wanting to be kind of glammy, but they have enough aggression and power in their compositions to just kind of lean away from that just enough. Really strong singer. I want to say it has moments where it gets a little thrashy, but I think it pretty much just stays its ground in good traditional metal. I mean, is this astounding? No, but I do enjoy it. And check out that little birdie there. He's trapped. He's trapped in time. This is good. I wish I've listened to it more and I could speak a little more eloquently about it, but I'm not going to file it yet. I need to spend some more time with it. This album fucking rules. And I learned about this one from Dennis over at Analog Archives. check out his channel. It's fucking sweet. He's a super nice guy, and another old fart that has got a sick collection. But he showed this one day. He said it fucking rips, and when he says it something fucking rips, I tend to listen. This is Acropolis with Contemplating Slaughter. This is new old stock. This Bomp label still had copies of it. He said he got it for cheap, and it was still available. And this came out in 1988 on Bomp Records. I think this band was from Atlanta. This is fucking excellent thrash, to be completely honest. It's super aggressive, super mean. I mean, there's some Slayerisms in there, but, you know, them being from Atlanta, they've got their own persona, their own character, and this album just really crushes. And I've only listened to it twice. I need to sit and really dig into it, because if I would have bought this back in the day on tape or something, I probably would have wore this fucker out, and I would consider this probably a classic today. But, you know, obviously I'm coming in on it, you know, in the dreaded year of 2020, so I'm so fucking, we're all in, you know, just completely crushed by all the new music out there. But this is great, man. If you can find a copy, I don't know if Bomp Records, is that Bomp Records? Yep, Bomp Records still has copies of this, because it said it was getting low when I bought it, because it had like a counter. Definitely check this out if thrash is your game, because this is super savage street thrash, excellent screamed vocals, super aggressive fucking riffs, great drummer, good shit. I mean, if these guys had the money behind them, they could have shit on Slayer, man. This shit's good. Next up, I may have shown these before, but I've had them in the new box for 2 years now. I've never filed them, and I kind of just want to file them. But Chicago Cyanide. You know, has this band been, you know, the best band ever to come out of the Midwest? No, but they've had a long career, and they write good records. Super solid, fucking no frills death metal. I've seen this band probably 5 times over the years. They were all very drunk every time, and they just fucking crushed, man. Slow, plodding, heavy death metal. This is a Hell's Headbangers reissue of Death, Doom, and Destruction, and it also comes with Rage War demo on a separate 12-inch. I guess I can probably show this to you. It's like a box set. They slide out of the slipcase. This is the Rage War 96 LP, and it's got the Truth 7-inch on the back of it. And here's the full-length Death, Doom, and Destruction. This is actually a really great record. Really super catchy. Heavier than shit. Could this be like a Midwestern bolt thrower? Maybe. But there's the dudes ready to crush. These are all like goofy colors and shit, but I'm not going to show it to you because listen to the music. Okay. Good shit. You know, I don't listen to these guys a lot, but when I do, I'm fairly well loaded for bear. I've got, I think, another thing on CD, but this is a Descent into Hell. This was a Dark Descent gold variant, I believe. Again, they have not rocked the boat their entire career. This is super solid, down-tuned, plodding, heavy death metal. Not a lot of blast beats, but when they do hit, there's a lot of impact. This is the Dying Truth. Excellent death metal. I'm missing a few of their records in my collection, but I will get them. They shouldn't be that hard to track down. But that's it. And I just wanted to say, September 4th, The Glorious Dead, my band, and Eve from Portland, Maine. This is very well done atmospheric black metal from the East Coast. Comes in a really nice looking vinyl, smoke vinyl, and we are old school themed death metal with more focus on riffs and songs than the caveman style. But both of these are up for sale, and I'm shipping. Pre-orders I'm shipping, so if your order comes in, as soon as I get boxes, I'll send the rest. Most people's shit's been shipped, so thank you all who have purchased and support the bands and support the label. I really, really appreciate it. Thank you so much. And for now, that's it. I just wanted to jump in with a quick little video to say hello. It's been a little bit, and I wanted to file some of this shit that's crushing over the stereo. Also, check out Michigan's Fatal. Good thrashy death metal. Check it out. Thanks for watching. Y'all take care.